Hi, you guys. Here we are again, and this time I want us to talk about how we round numbers. I want to start first by talking about why we round numbers, because I know sometimes kids will get the impression that when you do math, you have to find the precise, accurate number. So why would we be rounding? Well, we round in the real world all the time. I round when I go shopping, and sometimes I'll want to not spend too much money. Maybe when I go grocery shopping, I don't want to go over $100. And so I'll try to keep track of how much money I'm spending every time I put something in the basket. I don't want to write anything down on paper and pencil. It's not very efficient to have paper and pencil while I'm walking around the aisles at a grocery store, and it's not very helpful for me to have a calculator out. I don't really need to have an accurate, precise number. I just need to have an estimation. So rounding is a type of estimation. There are several types of estimating, and the next videos are going to teach you about some other kinds. The one that I want to teach you today is just rounding. Rounding has certain rules that you have to follow. And let's get started. So we're going to round a number to the nearest thousand. And what I have here is a number line. I have a number line here just to make this very concrete. We're going to move to the abstract in a minute, but for right now, I want to keep this very concrete with a number line. So if I were to ask you to round this number, I'm going to write it right up here, and the number is 6,000. I'll write it down here where there's a little bit more space. 6,541. Let's say we want to round that number to the nearest thousand. So when I have my number line, I just drew this straight line, and I knew that the thousand that was below this number is 6,000, and the thousand that's above this number is 7,000. 6,541 fits in the middle somewhere, or fits somewhere in between. It's sandwiched between 6,000 and 7,000. I know you know this, bear with me. So what really helps is to think about, well, what's dead center? What's right in the middle? Where's my black? Here it is. Of course, I know you know it. 6,500 is right in the middle. I put a little tick mark right there to help us locate the middle. Okay, so if we're rounding 6,541, where is that? Oh, well, I know it's more than 6,500, so it's probably right about here, right? So if it's above 6,500, it's going to round up to the thousand that's above it. I should restate that though. This is one of those math rules that mathematicians have decided. If it lands smack dab right there in the center, 6,500, if you had that number and you were rounding that number, we've decided as mathematicians that means you're going to round up. It's right in the middle. We had to make a call, and that's what mathematicians decided. We're going to round up. So anytime you're above or at the middle, you're going to always round up to the next place value, to the next thousand. In this case, we're being told round to the nearest thousand, so we're going to round up. Let's get a number that's less than that. So I'll get rid of this little thing too. Let's try something really close. 6,449. I know. It's going to be hard to draw it right in, but it's going to be right about here, right? Just below 6,500. Since it's on the other side, we'll round down to 6,000. What if we change this and we didn't round to the nearest thousand? Let's say we're taking the same number, 6,449, and let's change it to rounding to the nearest 100. Let's try that. So I'm going to change this word from 1,000 to 100. So if I want to take 6,449 and round it to the nearest 100, well, I need to change my number line again too. So let me erase these numbers, even the middle too. The hundredths digit is right here, right? It's the 4. So what's what's lowest? We've got 6,449. What's this, the number that would be furthest, the 100 that would be to the left of this number? And that would be 6,400 or 6,400. Right? Because we see 4 in the hundredths place. So the 100 that would be greater than that would be 100 up, and that would be 6,500. Okay, hope I didn't lose you there. Ask me if you have questions about that, because we're just changing the place value we're rounding to. We're rounding to the nearest 100 this time, using the same number. Okay, so let's also look at where the middle is, although I'm going to get rid of some of those marks from the previous estimating that or rounding that we just did. Wrong color, black. Okay, there we go. So I want to eyeball and find where the center of my number line is between 6,400 and 6,500. And it looks like it's about there. And what would be in the middle? 6,450, right? So let me write that in, 6,450. So where would this number fall? 6,449. Well, it's pretty close to this, isn't it? It's right in the middle. It's very close, but not quite in the middle, is it? It's just right here. So where would we round? Would we round down or up? Well, it's on the left-hand side of the center, so of course we're going to round down to 6,400. Okay, let's move on. Now, I want us to talk about rounding numbers without using a number line, just by looking. So this is the more abstract way of rounding numbers. It might be what you already do. So we're not going to talk about number lines anymore. We're not going to use that conceptual understanding. We're going to be more abstract. And I have to flip this over. Okay, let's take rounding to the nearest 1,000. We're using the same numbers, aren't we? So what I always do, I pay real close attention to the place value that I'm being told to round to. I know that 6 is in the thousands place, but to do this, we have to think about what's in the hundreds place. We have to look at that digit. So here we go. It's a 5. Now, if you remember the number line, the 5 was in the middle, right? 6,000 was on one side, 7,000 was on the other, and 6,500 was in the middle. And you remember what mathematicians have decided? If it's 5 or if it's in the middle, you have to round up. So if it's 6,541, to round to the nearest 1,000, we're going to round up to 7,000. And so we look to the digit that's on the right-hand side of the place value we're rounding, that we're rounding to. And if that digit is 5 or greater, we round up. If that digit is below 5, less than 5, we round down. So here we try it again with another number that you're familiar with, 6,449. If we're rounding to the nearest 1,000, we have to look to the digit on the right of that place value, which is the hundreds place. Now we see a 4. So to round to the nearest 1,000, we're going to round down because that's a 4, 6,000. Ooh, I don't have space for my last one. There we go. Okay, a little bit more abstract, but I think I haven't lost anyone. Okay, let's try something else. Let's round to the nearest 10. I'm using the same numbers again. So this will sometimes happen where you'll see a number that's much larger than the place value you're asked to round to. So if we're being asked to round to the nearest 10, well, what digit's in the tens place in 6,541? Right, it's this one, right? 4. Ah! Okay, little humor in the video. We'll get this back up. Ouch, that kind of hurt me. It landed right on my hand. Okay, so we have to stop laughing. Okay, we have to look to the digit to the right of the place value that we're rounding to. So that would be the ones place. Hey, yeah, the ones place. And it happens to be a 1, so that's easy. When we round 6,541 to the nearest tens, it'll be rounded down because that's less than 5. 1 is less than 5, so 6,540 is what we'd write. What about this one? 6,449. We look at the ones place because we're rounding to the nearest 10. That's a 9. So we know that with the 9 you have to round up because it's greater than 5. So what would this number be? What would be, 9 going up would be 0. So what happens to the tens digit? Now when we round to the nearest 10, we actually change this number into 6,450. I hope this helped cleared up any confusion about rounding. Thank you for watching.